Biglaan to wala naman akong statement. Good morning everyone. Katatapos na po yung pirmahan ng Maharlika Investment Fund Bill. It is now a law. At high spirits po, mga legislators kanina. Kasama natin si Speaker. Of course, the President was there together with the members of the Cabinet and several members of the Senate and the House of Representatives. So very upbeat ang feeling kanina at medyo excited na po ang Pangulo and the economic team to be able to highlight the Maharlika Investment Fund to the world for other investors to come in and support the fund. So, binanggit din po ng Pangulo na excited na rin po sila mag-umpisa ng o magsagawa na ng mga list of priority projects for the Maharlika Investment Fund. So, hopefully in the SONA, may babanggit po siya ng mga concrete projects for the use of the fund.
Sir, was there any request or say instruction or advice from the President kasi because the Congress will have an oversight committee, di ba?
Yes. Wala naman. Yung statement niya kanina, yung speech was the general speech. And I'm sure you can download the speech that he made earlier. Nagpaliwanag lang po siya sa mga haka-haka, mga kritisismo na kung hindi, sabi daw, and I'm saying verbatim, sabi ni Presidente, ang akala ng tao, bibili kami ng mga yate, ng mga aeroplano, na nakawin namin yung pera. And he said that Congress has put enough safeguards. First of all, hindi mangyayari yun under his watch. And secondly, sabi niya, napakaraming safeguards na ilagay po ang Kongreso. And I'm very proud that tayo dito sa Senado ay nakalagay po ng napakaraming pahinang safeguards when it comes to the selection of the leadership of the Maharlika Investment Fund up to the 2 pages of penalties for the misuse of the fund. So, we're very proud of our version, although nagkaroon ng konting controversy kasi nagkaroon ng double, itong provision na ito, double, tawag dyan, yung double periods, no, double provisions of the same prescriptive period, actually. And I think that was, as I mentioned and I explained, it was an honest mistake by the staff. Naiiyak nga yung mga staff namin nung nangyari po. I mean, it was just an honest mistake. Nothing, no sinister motive by any of that. But lesson learned, and one of the lessons learned in this experience is to make sure that we have a clean copy before we approve it on third and final reading, even if it's a certified measure. Para sa ganun, wala na pong pangyayaring ito.
Sir, on the part of the Senate, sabi mo, sir, sa pala, sabi mo, sir, very upbeat feeling. They're gearing up na yung mga projects that they would like to invest on. But sir, offhand, anong mga projects yung possible na unahin para kumita agad yung investment fund?
Some are, one of the discussions was actually on the issue of the building of the Cavite to Bataan Bridge. It will be a tolling bridge. So, malaking bridge yan. It's a huge bridge. That will connect Metro Manila to Cavite, through Cavite to Bataan. I think that will cut the travel time for many of the, maraming pumapasok sa Manila Port Harbor, sa ICTSI, at dinadala itong mga 40-foot, 20-foot containers pa sa Central Luzon, and also Bataan, AFAD. It will cut the travel time into a third. For example, what would be about a 3 to 4 hour drive, alam po ni Dave Torres yan, yung aking assistant dito dahil siya po ay taga Bataan. What would take about a 3 to 4 hour drive to Bataan will now take only 45 minutes passing through Cavitex and the new Cavite-Bataan Interlink Bridge. So, napakaganda nun. And madidecongest din po ang NLEX. So, sa inyo dito, sa ating mga kapatid dito na umuwi ng North, wala na po kayo makikita masyado mga malalaking container vans and of course mga trucks pwede nang dumaan dito sa Interlink Bridge na ito. So exciting times because that will also be a wonder and feat. Di ba pinupuntahan, ginawang tourist site na yung Cebu Bactan, yung bagong Cebu Bactan Bridge at ginagawa po nilang highlight ng Cebu City. I think it will also be a good sign to see and show that we are actually spending a lot of our focus now on major infrastructure projects. So maganda po yan.
Para mas maintindihan lang sir ng public, how will the government or the sovereign fund paano kikita from these bridges?
Hindi naman kaya ng sovereign fund pondohan yan, no? Kasi ano yan, hundreds of billions yata yung bridge na yan. So magkakaroon po 170 billion, right? So ayaw mo nang ilagay lahat ng pondo ng MIF dun sa tulay na yun. So mangyayari doon, magkakaroon ng consortium. There will be of course private partners. Papasok ang Maharlika maybe as a 40, 50 or 60% investor. What's going to happen after the completion ng tulay, may toll po yan. Mangungulekta po ng toll fee. So, yung toll fee na yan, ay babalik po yung toll fee na yan sa Maharlika Investment Fund. So, kung 60% owner po sila ng tulay, so they will get 60% of the profit of the toll road. So, yan na po mangyayari dyan. So, lalaki, may magandang investment tayo. Siyempre, laki ng napakaraming laborers ang kukunin po natin dyan, manggagawa para gawin tong tulay na ito. So it's a force multiplier economic-wise. It's a force multiplier for Cavite and Bataan. Dadami po ang magkakaroon ng trabaho doon. At the same time, pagtapos na, dyan po maka-income ang Maharlika Investment Fund sa pagsingil ng tollways. Another thing that I can see, for example, if they invest into the NGCP, NGCP right now is earning so much money kasi transmission line yan, nakakabit na lahat yan eh. So automatic, magkakaroon din ng income yung Maharlika Investment Fund dyan sa pagsingil ng kuryente, di ba? Dahil meron talagang transmission fees na isinisingil po sa ating mga binabayad sa kuryente natin. So these are some of the examples and I'm sure the economic team that will head the Maharlika Investment Fund will make sure that it is effectively and efficiently utilized ang pondo na ito at kumita po ang gobyerno dito.
Sir, ngayong pirmado na ni Presidente itong MIF at batas na, chance ba ito para mawala na yung mga concerns at saka yung fear ng ilang mga economists from UP na nagsasabing hindi daw ito makatutulong sa ating economy?
I think, alam mo, halos lahat ng bansa dito sa Southeast Asia may investment fund. So tayo na lang nahuli. Ang kagandahan ng investment fund nito, makakapondo to ng mga proyekto na hindi na po natin kailangan mag-utang pa. For example, ang binagit ko kanina, yung tulay, yung interlink bridge connecting Cavite and Bataan. Kung hindi po natin gagamitan ng MIF funds yan, the Maharlika Investment Funds, utangin natin yan from Korea or Japan. Diba? So mangutang na naman tayo. Tataas na naman, lolobo na naman ang utang natin lahat dito sa kwartong ito. So I think that's the problem there. Kaya ang kagandahan nitong MIF, it will not disturb the fiscal stability of our country. It will not add to the loans of our country and of every individual nation. Kasi mataas na po yung debt to GDP ratio, I think 63%. So ayaw nating dagdagan yan. We don't want to increase the debt to GDP ratio. So that's why we created this fund. And this fund will utilize the funding or the funds kept by government agencies such as Land Bank and DBP that are only in the bank. Nandun lang sa bangko po, hindi nagagalaw. Ang kita nila ay napakaliit, less than 0.001%. It's like cost of money. So now, we will utilize that fund under this law to be able to create projects, to create more jobs, to create economic activity without a single loan from any World Bank, IMF, or financial institution.
So sir, immediately, mararamdaman natin yung benefit o it will take time?
It will take time. It will take time. Kasi siyempre yung projects, di ba, itinatayo yan for several years. Siguro yung interlink bridge na yan will take about maybe 5 to 6 years. Probably matapos yan, 2028, 2029. So it will take time. But I think sound ang mga proposals ng ating economic team, and maybe we'll learn more during the SONA of the President.
So possible na next admin ang makikinabang dito, sir?
Possible, next admin. Unless it's other projects na medyo mas mababa ang shelf life yung construction time. But definitely, next admin will be benefiting from the Maharlika Investment Fund. So, ang tingin ng presidente nito long term for the next generation.
Sir,
Can I ask for water? Request ng water. Thank you.
Sir,
Sorry.
dagdag lang na tanong. Sir, medyo may kinalaman kay Ate Sel. Sir, big elephant in the room, sir. Anong pakinabang nung pangkaraniwang tao dito sa Maharlika Fund? It's an investment fund. Siyempre, may mga nagsabi, wala tayong surplus fund, ba't natin ilalabasan, ba't di nalang ipantulong sa taong bayan? But now that it's already a law, anong pakinabang yan, sir?
Well, ang pakinabang niyan ay increased economic activity sa kung saan o kung saan gagamitin ang Maharlika Investment Fund. Kasi itong Maharlika Investment Fund, hindi po to mamimili ng stock sa stock market. Hindi naman ganun. Ang direksyon ng Maharlika Investment Fund ay lagay ang pondo na yan. For example, palalaguin nila, papagandahin nila ang agricultural sector. So, ang Maharlika Fund can be utilized to, for example, I'm thinking out of the box here, it's my personal opinion, but pwede nilang invest ito, for example, in agricultural industrialization or building of feed mills, building of rice mills in areas na walang rice mill. Government, we can get a government institution to run it kung saan yung ating mga rice farmers hindi na po kailangan pumunta pa sa mga biyahero, sa mga traders na or mga rice millers na kung saan pinagsasamantalan sila ng mababang presyo. 'Di ba? So, isa po yan sa mga out of the box, maybe may suggestions to the President. So makikinabang mga farmers dito. We can also, as I said, major infrastructure projects kung saan libo-libo pong mga kababayan natin na mabibigyan ng trabaho. Dahil tatayuan nila itong mga malalaking tulay, mga malalaking kalsada, mga tollways. Malaking bagay din po yan. I think this will be, and of course, in the advent of the El Nino and climate change, ang gusto ni Presidente, binanggit niya sa akin I will also invest MIGS on a lot of renewable energy projects para bumaba daw ang presyo ng kuryente. Dahil kung fossil fuel projects, napakamahal, imported pa, ang gusto niya, more renewable, more solar, more wind turbines, more hydroelectric projects, like his father before him that built all the dams. And I think we should also look at more water impounding projects kasi naalala nyo, bago nagkaroon ng sobrang daming ulan noong isang araw na nagbaha, prior to that, akala natin El Nino, mainit, nagkakaproblema tayo sa water rationing. Alam mo sa ibang bansa, napakasimpleng kanilang sagot yan. They have all small, medium, and large water impounding projects, mga dams, para magkaroon po ng sapat na supply ng tubig. Biro mo sa disyerto, sa Estados Unidos, sa Nevada, yung Grand Canyons, disyerto yan, walang tubig dyan. Walang ulan. It only rains maybe 1 week of the year. Pero dahil sa 1 week na yan, nailalagay po nila lahat sa isang magandang dam, which is the Hoover Dam, where they get all their water and electricity needs. So, kailangan natin pag-isipan yan in the light of climate change na baka magkaroon ng mga climatic changes na kung saan apektado ang ating water system and electricity supply. So, I think the President is excited to move towards that direction, more renewables, using the MIF as the fund source. Thank you. More jobs, direct jobs. Yes.
Sir, sabi po ni Senator Risa Hontiveros, marami na raw nagpaplano na questioning po sa Supreme Court yung Maharlika Investment Fund. Are you confident, sir, na mawi-withstand ng bill, ng law yung...
Yes. All the laws that we have passed in the Senate and in the House of Representatives, we always make sure that it will stand the test of scrutiny by the Supreme Court. It is beyond us to pass a law that we feel is unconstitutional. Ibig sabihin yan, we did a poor job and we did a bad job in passing these laws. So, safe to say, on my opinion, the Maharlika Investment Fund can withstand the scrutiny of the Supreme Court on this particular issue. Yes.
Sir, isa po dun sa mga sinasabi ng mga critics is dahil investment po ito ay possible pa rin yung risk, sir.
Yeah.
Yun,
Opo.
opo. So, with all the projects that you mentioned, sir, do you think, ano yung chance na may chance po ba talaga na malugi ito? What are the chances na mangyari yun?
Well, like any fund, I think the most important thing is piliin natin yung mga tamang tao na mamumuno nitong fund na ito, di ba? There's always a risk in any fund. But for example, ako, kung tatanungin niyo ako, may oversight function naman ng Senado at Kongreso. Hindi ako papayag na ilagay niyo yan sa stock market. Dahil yung stock market, taas baba, taas baba. Right now, medyo patay ang stock market, no? So talagang hindi tayo papayag na ilalagay doon. Kung infrastruktura naman, I think it is money well spent. Kasi gagawa tayo ng tulay. For example, yung MIF can also fund the One Visayas Bridge program kung saan i-connect po natin yung Panay Island through Guimaras to Negros. And then from Negros, maglalagay po tayo ng tulay connecting to Cebu. And from Cebu, connecting to Bohol. Di ba? Ang ganda. So, ang mangyayari yan, toll roads din yan, toll roads. Pero ang kagandahan nito for tourism. And what is it? Why is it good for tourism? Because you can have breakfast in Tagbilaran and dinner in Boracay. Kotse lang dala nyo. Di na kayo kailangan lumipad pa. Di ba? Ilang oras lang yun. Dadaan ka ng gandang road trip yun. Breakfast in Tagbilaran, Bohol, drive ka going through Cebu, and then on the Cebu to Negros Oriental, passing through Dumaguete, di ba? And then from Dumaguete, you go to Santander, and then from Santander, Cebu, you go up, and then you go to, you take now the Roro going towards Bohol, and, tama ba yung sinabi ko? Iloilo pala, Iloilo. So basically, Panay Island, so basically, that will beef up tourism. All on these 3 bridges alone, that will beef up tourism. Pero, ang lalaki ng pondong kailangan dyan. Hindi po kaya ng local government tsaka yung DPWH na pondohan yan. But if the MIF, they can do it. And because of that, tataas po ang turismo dito sa mga lugar na ito at economic activity. For example, Cebu, walang tubig. Nagdi-desalinate na po sila ng tubig. They have desalination plants that cost so much money. All they need to do is connect Bohol and Cebu. Why? Maraming tubig ang Bohol. Bohol has a lot of water system, yung spring water system na pwedeng ilagay through the bridge that Maharlika Investment Fund could build towards Cebu. So there's so many advantages that we can look into. Now we have a fund that does not restrict us from mere borrowing para baka tumaas ulit ang loans ng ating bansa. So napaka-exciting po ng pondo ito, properly implemented. That's why the fund is only as good as the team that manages it. So let's hope that the President will assign a good management team for the MIF.
Sir, dun sa mga example niyo po, for example, yung mga bridges, sir, pagka hindi toll bridge yung i-invest ng Maharlika Fund, paano po yung balik dun sa pondo? Kasi for example, if it's per economic activity or tourism or jobs, pero paano po yung mismong pera na babalik, yung return dun sa Maharlika Fund?
Yung economic activity na binagit ko, yan yung parang outcome, no? That's the favorable outcome of an investment of the Maharlika Fund with these projects. Ibig sabihin, ito po ang secondary advantage ng projects na itinatayo dun, which is labor, jobs, yung increase in tourism, and economic activity in the area. Pero yung pondo ng Maharlika Fund dyan, lahat ng toll bridges na yan, kinokolektahan po natin ng toll fee. So, yung toll fee na po yan, that will go back to the Maharlika Investment Fund. That's their income.
So, sir, puro
babalik
toll
po
bridge.
siya.
Kasi I remember si Senator Cheese Escudero nung sa plenary,
Yes.
tinatanong po niya, so ibig sabihin ba puro toll bridge lang yung pwede nating
That's
gawin?
only my example, Pangga. I don't know what they're planning. I'm not part of the executive, pero yan po ang example na binibigay ko dahil yan ang pinag-uusapan namin sa economic team as possible investments of the Maharlika Investment Fund. It could be toll, it could be energy, as I said, renewable energy, para bumaba po yung presyo ng kuryente. NGCP, investments in NGCP, para lalong bumaba po ang presyo ng kuryente at nagkakaroon na po ng pondo para sa connectivity between Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao grid. Dahil hindi po gumagastos ang NGCP na yon, tinatago lang nila ang pera nila, kabig ng kabig, ayaw nila mag-capital outlay. Of course, with the investment fund of Maharlika, they can now connect Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao electricity grids. Kasi may, stranded power in Mindanao. Ibig sabihin, ang dami namin power sa Mindanao, hindi namin kuryente, no? Excess na kuryente, hindi namin maipadala sa Luzon kung saan kulang. Which under the initial proposal of the NGCP, when we created the franchise for the NGCP, sagot ng NGCP na i-interconnect itong tatlong main islands na ito. Hindi pa nila ginagawa. So, out of the sheer frustration of the President, sabi niya, let's invest in the NGCP para now we can demand as investors na gawin itong mga projects na ito. That will help bring down the cost of electricity.
Sir, last question na po for me. So, oversight function po ng Congress, pwede po niyang pigilan yung Maharlika Investment Corporation from investing in certain projects kapag ka nakikita ng Congress na pwedeng malugi?
Absolutely. We can recommend to the economic team favorable, but we can recommend na mag-ingat sila sa mga ganitong klaseng investments. And I think if you get a reputable professional group to run it, na financial team, na private sector, galing sa pribadong sektor, talagang aalagaan nila yung pondo na yan.
So sir,
In other words, minimizing the risk. Hindi ko sinasabing walang risk. Well, minimizing the risk.
Sir, before the fact po, before sila mag-invest in a certain project, pwede pong harangin ng Congress or kasi yung nangyayari po usually is nag-investigate po after the fact, after na mangyari, for example, yung isang questionable na or irregularity. Pero dito po ba sa Maharlika Investment Fund, before mag-invest, pwedeng harangin or
Hindi naman
i-block
harangin.
na?
Siguro pwede natin, we can invite them, we can convene the committee. Once you convene the oversight committee, papatawag po natin yung head ng MIF at yung team niya at tatanungin natin kung ano ba ang plano nilang investments para sa pondong ito at pwede na natin, kung meron po silang plano na ilalabas o linabas na sa media, pwede po namin i-question kung bakit yun itong mga projects ang gagawin ninyo sa pondong ito. That's the oversight power of Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
ISP, good afternoon
Hi,
po.
Maria,
Harleen
good
po from UNTV.
Yeah,
SP, the Department of Finance is eyeing to finalize the implementing rules and regulations po sa September. But how sure are we na hindi mag-veer away yung IRR from the spirit of the law? Given na SP may mga instances in the past, di ba, na yung IRR is a bit violative dun sa ipinasa ng Senado at Kamara.
I totally agree with you on that. Marami po tayong batas na ipinasa na nagkaroon po na ng kaibahan dahil sa IRR, Implementing Rules and Regulations. As a matter of fact, there was a proposal by Senator Tolentino one time to lead a panel to take it up to the Supreme Court. No, if they can actually do that, these government agencies on the implementation of the law. And I support that. I support Senator Tolentino's call na gumawa po tayo or questionin natin sa Supreme Court itong mga IRR na ito na sa tingin namin ay hindi po kasama sa batas. Maybe we should come up with a test case. I'll talk to Senator Tolentino about it, being the chairman of the Committee on Justice. We look for a particular law and we look for its implementing rules and regulations na hindi tumutugma sa batas. So talagang gagamitin talaga natin yung oversight function ng Kongreso. That's why we had placed we created a oversight committee for the Maharlika Investment Fund. Definitely, gusto namin makita ang IRR bago nila ma-implement ito and i-ratify or aprubahan ng iba't ibang ahensya na dapat ito po ay tugma sa batas. So, we'll be on top of that situation. Definitely.
Can I ask